finally finished watching all of Black Lightning, and quite frankly, I'm sure that out of everyone who's watching here, I'm probably the only one that watched Black Lightning in this case. But that's fine. I understand. I love my CW verse. It is what it is. Um, I'll just say this with Black Lightning: when the series came out in 2018, in 2018, it felt very necessary. You had DC's Legends of Tomorrow and Flash and Arrow, and there weren't as many unique voices in the overall universe. And I think the goal of what Black Lightning set out to be was to be a superhero series that involved life for African Americans, especially at this point in time in the country with police brutality and people being wrongfully gunned down and things of that nature, which are touched upon in the show. I I think it came at a right time, and I think it accomplished its goal of just opening up eyes to what life could be like for, say, if you are African American and you have superpowers, what could you do with those powers? There's one episode in particular that really touches on that too, which has always stayed with me, but more reasons why I think the show is just great for what it is. And I'll just give this little brief history with Black Lightning. It started out as a project for the Fox network before the whole Disney buyout thing and everything. But Fox passed on the pilot, so then that's how the CW picked it up. They reshot a brand new pilot for it and reorganized the whole script and everything. And that is, I think, how it mostly ended up being separate from the Arrowverse at the time. Not really kind of meeting in the middle, just being its own separate story, because there was a while where I was confused on where it was in the multiverse as a whole. Before Crisis merged everything together to create an Earth Prime to bring Black Lightning into the universe. Um, the series as a whole, I think Black Lightning, the series, has a bunch of strong characters that have great intimate performances, specifically that of Jefferson Pierce, aka Black Lightning. Cress Williams, the actor who plays the hero, I think is the best fit for the job, being a high school principal and dealing with kids, some who are at risk, and trying to give them goals and uh, achievements to work towards for the future. He seems like just such a strong, positive role model that you can, wrap your arms around and just, root for continually, even when he falters, even when he goes on the wrong path. You still root for him either way, and I definitely rooted for him from beginning to end. And even the whole family dynamic with the rest of the Pierces, including Lightning and Thunder, and then their mom as well. I think it was a great family dynamic, and I think what the show wanted to do was showcase a black family dynamic in a superhero world, and I think they definitely accomplished that very well. And I was engaged. There was never a point where I was like sick of any of the characters at all, and even with Flash to a certain degree, 7 seasons in, I kind of have felt like I'm a little sick of some of the characters for continually making the same mistakes. But I give credit to Black Lightning for never having their characters make the same mistakes twice and giving new ways to create character texture. So I really appreciate that. Huge shout out to Tobias Whale, the main central antagonist to the overall series. Crondon was the actor for it, and while I do think he's maybe probably the most notable albino actor in Hollywood, I definitely think he delivered in the performance, even if maybe some moments with the character are considered a bit stereotypical with his love for chicken. Looking back on it now, so maybe that wasn't quite the best handling of the character. And with that kind of character, it's okay to chew scenery, and it's okay to really go over the top and be kind of a stereotypical comic book villain. But with that kind of character, that's kind of what I want to see. So I was okay with that. And I couldn't take my eyes off the screen with him. I thought it was a great performance. And when you're choosing to specifically have one character be almost your central antagonist throughout, you better have someone that's captivating. And I thought he was captivating from beginning to end. The ending of the series, it only lasted 4 seasons, for those that don't know. I do think the ending felt a little rushed at the end of the day, as if they didn't know that season 4 was going to be the last season, even though it was announced before the start of season 4's airing that this was going to be the last season. And I'm not exactly sure what the overall reason for that was, whether it was the CW making that call or the showrunner making that call, which I doubt looking back on it now. Um, I do think it was a little rushed, but I do still think they met the finish line as a whole of just resolving a lot of things that had taken place, not just in this one season, but a lot of things that carried over from prior seasons. There was meant to be a spin-off series called Painkiller, based on the anti-hero Painkiller from the show. Personally, I'm actually glad that this didn't happen because, as I've talked about before here on Knights of the Dirty Table, if the goal of a show is to have at least 100 episodes to be a continual success in the ways of syndication or really even watching on streaming now, like HBO Max, because, I mean, how wonderful has The Office been for Netflix, for example, or even Friends for any streaming service that it's on. Um, I don't know how this series, Painkiller, if it got the green light, I don't know how it could have lasted 2 seasons of 13 episodes each, let alone 100. So while I do think the character himself was very interesting, I'm not sure if it would have been the best call to have in your overall CW verse of superheroes based on DC characters to have Painkiller be another series that you have. I don't know if it meets that mark of, say, Arrow or even Flash that it's going on right now, or even Legends of Tomorrow or Supergirl, which are at the 100 episode marks, as one of them is about to end. I Overall, I think this show is much cleaner in its overall arc as a whole compared to stuff like Arrow or The Flash. I do think it is a little unfair to maybe say that it is cleaner because it had significantly less episodes than Arrow or Flash, but maybe this helps it too. A big positive when Black Lightning first came out, the first season, was that it only had 13 episodes. And comparing that to most of the other seasons that were on the air, they had 22 episodes. And sometimes in the middle of some of these shows, it kind of feels like we're stalling just to reach the finish line of making it to 22 episodes a season. I think Black Lightning benefited from being shorter in some seasons, and then it actually kind of was a little weaker in some seasons where it had longer rounds of episodes. Like season 2, I think, had 18 episodes. And I think it kind of showed that it was trying to extend out as much as it could and kind of falter a little bit. But overall, I think Black Lightning had the clearest beginning, middle, and end with almost no falter in the middle. Or if there is anything that kind of deviates from the central antagonist of Tobias Whale, I think it only benefits the characters as a whole. They're our central characters of heroes. I will definitely miss Black Lightning for being the different voice, the completely different voice than everything else that was on TV for the CW verse prior. I will miss it, but I am thrilled that we will be continuing at least Jefferson Pierce's story in the upcoming team up that will be featured on the 5-part Flash premiere next month in November, where it's cashing in on the promise from the Crisis team up that Black Lightning and Flash could totally be seen working together. And I'm just here for Cress Williams' Black Lightning to come back on screen because I'm here for it. Overall, off the top of my head, I would give the overall show a B+. And just before I move on from Black Lightning, the soundtrack in almost every episode is fire and super educational, and Salim Akil is a fantastic showrunner for just making all these elements work. He is great. He is brilliant, I think, and made for a strong series as a whole. That's my take on Black Lightning.
Whoa! Welcome to the end of the Knights of the Dirty Table video that you just watched. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our video, share with all your friends, and catch our live stream every Friday live at 5, only on the Zenden Studios Twitch channel. I gotta go wander off into space. See ya! Whoa! Whoa!